Hello everyone, and welcome to Lian Li's 2021 Digital Expo 2.0. This is our second video in a three-part series. In the first video, we took a closer look at the updates made to our soon-to-launch products. If you missed it, make sure to go to the description where the links are provided. Let's jump into our second video. Also announced during our last Digital Expo, 2 prototypes generated a lot of interest. We've updated the designs and are getting close to completion. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive into the new features of the V3000 Plus and the O11D Evo. A few months back, DeBauer gave us a great all-around review of the O11D Evo prototype. Designed as an airflow optimized O11 Dynamic, the Evo is an impressively versatile case with promising performance. Here's an overview of the changes we made. From the outside, the top and right side panel mesh have been redesigned, while the front panel door has been removed. All control buttons have been moved to the top right of the case, and the power button can even be pressed from both the front and the right side. At the rear of the case, the expansion slot area has been revised to provide more room for the nameplate. The case front I/O has been relocated into a detachable compartment that can be installed either along the side of the case or at the bottom front. You can expect the O11D Evo to be available towards the end of October at an MSRP of $159.99. DeBauer is now ready to take you along the Evo's transformation and go over the redesigned and improved aspect of the updated prototype. Enjoy.
Hi and welcome back to a new video, and again on my table you can see a Lian Li case, and it might look familiar, but I can guarantee that it's not identical. You're again looking at an O11 Dynamic Evo, but it's the latest prototype. Of course, the O11 Dynamic Evo features a front and side panel made out of tempered glass, which makes filming a lot more difficult because of all the reflections you have with the room and the lights and everything. But just to give you a first impression of how clean and neat the front looks like, I will leave it on for now, but we'll remove it for the following shots. Okay, so here we have one more shot, a little bit angled from the side so you can get a better impression of front and side panel. Again, as usual with the O11 Dynamic, it's just very clean and timeless design. Before we can start removing the front glass and the glass side panel, we first have to slide back the top cover, which is a complete mesh design for perfect ventilation, and it's made out of steel, but it's painted in a very good quality. Also considering that it's a prototype, it's a very, very good quality. And next to it, we have aluminum parts for the top and also for the front. But we're going to check out the front in a second. Similar as before, you just remove the 2 screws in the back and then you pull the top cover and you can easily remove it. Glass front and side panel just have to be pushed out towards the glass direction, then you can lift it up. On top we have a dust filter which we can use or not use. There's a lot of stuff that changed on the back side. First of all, we have a much bigger mesh type, so we have better ventilation for the 120mm fan, which can be mounted in this position. And on the bottom right here, originally there was no ventilation or no mesh at all, and now we have the same kind of mesh that we have above. Following your feedback, the dual PSU mount is back. So again, on the bottom as standard, you can mount your first or primary PSU. If you don't need the hard drive swap cages, which are above, so you can mount 2 hard drives if you want to. If you don't need that, you can go back to the dual PSU mount, just remove the inner hard drive bay, and then you can mount 2 PSUs in total. The first Evo had a full mesh side, which allows perfect ventilation, but also allows that you cannot really hide your cables anymore underneath. So they added this strip in the center, which allows or makes it easier to hide your cables. The metal bar in the center allows at the same time SSD mounting of 2 devices, or it also allows hiding the cables underneath. In a previous design, they had this cage in the center with a cover on top, which didn't allow that much space. But now that we have this part in the center right here, which is covering the side, it's not a full side mesh panel anymore. This thing is back, which will make the cable management easier than in the original design. Now there is this entire bracket for the fans, and you just press this button here on top. Then you can release the entire frame. And if you need to, you can simply turn it around and this way adjust the depth of where the fans or the radiators are sitting. Slide it back in, and it's sitting in place. There were also major changes to the front. You could open this up and there were some hard drive swap bays underneath, and since we have them in the back already on this design, we don't need them in the front anymore. And the front is completely fixed, so you cannot open this up anymore. And as a lot of people requested, the power button is now sitting here outside. You don't have to open up anything anymore to access it. Same goes for the reset button, and also if you want to adjust your fan speed or the RGB color of the controller which is sitting in the case, you can do that over those two buttons. If for whatever reason you're not using this position right here for mounting fans or radiators, you can also switch to this part. And this part will allow additional hard drive mountings or SSD mountings, or just in case you want to, I don't know, hide this part right here. If you say, I don't know, I don't need fans right here, I just want to have it look clean and not that you can see through, then you can swap to this part. In both bottom and top areas you have those quick mount cases or quick mount brackets for fan and radiators. And previously those latches right here were made of plastic, now they're made of metal just to be more reliable and so you don't break. Also in addition, previously you had mounting possibilities or opportunities for hard drives on the bottom. And now those additional holes were moved to additional metal bars. Because if you don't need to mount an HDD on the bottom, those bars would block additional airflow, which is bad for performance. So makes absolutely sense. If you don't need HDDs, you're just not using those bars. I saved my best or two favorite features for the end. And the second favorite feature in my eyes is the variable front panel. So right now it's accessible from the left side of the case. In case you have this case sitting on the right of you, then you would probably use this mounting opportunity so you can access it from the left. If you want to access this from the front, for example, you can just slide this back. It's pretty difficult to do that with one hand right now, but you can technically slide this back and put it to this position so you can access this from the front. And also, if you decide to put your case on the left side of you, you can simply move this right here. And then you would have it accessible still when the case is sitting on the left side and not on the right side, which is absolutely cool. But now let's get to my favorite feature, which is the swappable case. And I'm going to try that. And not only 10 minutes later, you might think that I swapped it, but looking inside, I actually didn't. Now check this out. Yep, it literally just takes 5 minutes and maybe 7 screws, and then you can flip the bottom with the top part, and you can flip the entire case, which is absolutely awesome.
To see Roman's full review of the new O11D Evo, you can click the link in the description below. Capable of supporting dual systems, multiple motherboard orientations, up to 20 hard drives, and a large amount of radiator and fan configurations, the V3000 Plus definitely stands out with its modern style and compatibility for pretty much anything. Thanks to GGF events and your feedback, we've been hard at work optimizing its long list of features and build quality. The aluminum extrusions along the edge of the case have been simplified. An additional drive cage has been added in the shroud area for 4 extra HDDs. We've also included tracks to make the adjustment of the case more user-friendly. In addition, the size of the shroud compartment has been increased to accommodate taller GPUs. With the motherboard tray in chimney position, some 21mm of adjustable playroom has been designed for water cooling flexibility. Moving to the front of the case, both areas around the I/O at the top and the logo at the bottom have been reduced in size for a more discreet look. The front aluminum panel can now be quickly removed to improve airflow without affecting the front RGB strip. At the top, 2 buttons are now present to open the side panel, while the top panel can be removed to reveal a mesh pattern and improve the airflow. Below the mesh, a removable fan bracket has been implemented for ease of installation of fans and radiators. The bottom shroud panel, shape and mesh have been optimized. At the rear, a 140mm fan can be installed. A new removable plate for rear I/O has been implemented. A new vertical GPU kit has been designed and can even be used in chimney mode. Besides the motherboard, pump mounting holes are now present. For dual systems, our ITX bracket is now optimized to support a 240 radiator. At the front of the PSU shroud top cover, fan mounting and ventilation points have been implemented. you can expect the V3000 Plus to be available towards the middle of November at an MSRP of $399.99. The complete version of Stuart's take on the revised V3000 Plus is available on GGF Events channel. Make sure to click the link in the description below. And this is it for our second video. If you missed the first video, make sure to go to the description below as we provided detailed updates on our soon-to-be-launched Q58, O11 Air Mini, and the A4H2O. We've kept more exciting news for our last video, such as the premiere of the new Unifan SL120 Infinity and the Langcool 3. So don't miss out on this last one, as we'll be introducing all the details of our giveaway. Thanks for watching.